Chapter 8 Karma. Why am I here? I am here because of my past actions or karmas. My present actions decide my future karmas. The word karma is derived from the Hindu concept of good and bad deeds. Karma means doing, action and reaction, cause and effect. Kar in Sanskrit means hands, which are the conduit used for action. Usually, the lines of our palm indicate our course of action in the present life. Hands are responsible for the hard work which we do daily to achieve our destiny in life. Having the tenacity to work hard is the ladder which lifts you towards the success of life. Hard work or willpower is necessary to make or break our destiny. Courageous people are always victorious against all odds in life and collect the reward in the present or in the future. There are no shortcuts to success. Buddhism too preaches karma as it has roots in Hinduism. It implies that the good karmas they do in this present birth will equally impact their present and future deliveries. This principle encourages Buddhists to be generous, kind, compassionate, and tolerant towards everyone in this life. Karma refers to actions driven by intention, a deed done deliberately through body, speech, and intellect. Buddhists believe in the three jewels. The first is to study the lifestyle of Buddha and try to imitate it. The second is to become associated with fellow believers. And the third is to dedicate your present life to accumulating good karmas for the future life. To add good karmas in life and beyond, and to reduce bad karmas of the past, Buddhism preaches the eightfold path, that is, right view, meaning know the whole truth, right moral intentions, meaning positive actions, right speech, meaning say nothing that hurt others, right actions, that is being selfless in helping others, right livelihood, meaning honest living, right effort, meaning resist temptations, right concentration, practice guided meditation, and right mindfulness, that is think positive thoughts. Our diverse actions complicate our fast-paced life and make our minds super agitated. Our intellect is so confused, so much that the mystery of karma seems a hard nut to crack. Even a lifetime may be lacking to grasp or understand and accept this karmic theory fully. Yet with some inner awakening, that is inner spiritual knowledge and soul searching, ignorance of karma may be dispelled. Karma is not God's way of punishment. That is why the misunderstandings of karma often lead individuals to self-pity and fatalism. This uncaring attitude of people who believe in karmic theory. As a result, such individuals are self-centered and do not attempt to help and prefer to leave the poor and the needy to suffer in agony, saying that it is their karmas that they are suffering from. Some scholars even compare karma to energy or memory. We create this energy or memory through our thoughts, words, and deeds. The law of karma is not passive or defeatist. Many people equate karma with evil, sin, or whatever is wrong. Some people equate karma with fate or preordained destiny over which we have no control. But Hinduism does not operate on fear psychosis or by appeal to guilt or shame. Karma is thus a natural law of mind. Our thoughts and action create our karmas, both good or bad. Karma is a spiritual law that always works itself out. On a larger scale, karma may even be responsible for determining when and where a person may be reborn. Their subsequent life status would then be a reward or punishment for their previous karmas. Let me cite an anecdote here about a learned seer and sage who traveled from village to village with his disciples to spread the teachings about the divine. One day they arrived in a village where people were rude and did not show any much hospitality, even though they had given them an excellent sermon. Still, when they were departing the village, the learned seer blessed them with a ripe crop and prosperity for years to come. He blessed them that they would prosper and they would never have to leave their village. The next day, they arrived in another village where the people were very loving and caring. They showed them proper respect and hospitality. They served the sage and disciples with deep devotion and even came near the village boundaries to bid them goodbye. But as they said goodbye, the saint told them that they would suffer from a drought that year, so they should prepare to migrate soon in different directions. This strange blessing greatly surprised the disciples, who asked their learned teacher about these peculiar blessings. They had seen the treatment given by both the villages and the seemingly strange blessing given to them. The learned sage smiled and explained his blessings to them. He said, as the people in the first village were rude and not hospitable, so they would all reap bad karmas, and therefore, if they migrate, they will increase their bad karmas and spoil the people they will come in contact with. So he had blessed them with material prosperity and asked them to stay in the same village without polluting others. However, the people from the second village were very pious, loving, and hospitable. They were all creating good karmas. So it would be better for them to migrate to different towns and teach the same good qualities to people they encounter with. They would thus spread good karmas for births to come. Hence, the people from the second village could take a step closer to attaining nirvana or salvation. The disciple finally understood the strange blessing of the learned saint and the meaning of sowing as many good karmas as possible to negate your bad karmas. A simple rule is, as your thoughts are, so are your karmas. It means that if your thoughts and actions are correct, you will reap good karmas, and vice versa. But even all these actions cannot bring us close to nirvana in a lifetime. So the question is there a way out of this karmic web or chaos? The answer is yes and yes. It means doing lots of good karma and very few bad karma. In other words, turn voluntarily to God and yield not to the temptations of the Satan. In simple mathematical terms, the difference between the positive good deeds of the divine sixth element and the harmful evil deeds are our net karmas. It is the profit or loss or the balance sheet of our karmic life. Hence, you will carry forward good or bad karmas with you as you proceed to the afterlife. Regardless of whatever we do, our accountant, the sixth element, will forward the soft copy of our karmic balance sheet as we exit from our physical body. We can compare karma as a spiritual equivalent to Newton's third law, which says, for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. It means that as we exhibit positive or opposing energy in thought, word, or action, that same energy will echo back to us with an equal velocity, like a spiritual boomerang. Buddhism laws of karma. Law of cause and effect to receive happiness, peace, love, and friendship. One must sow the seeds to be happy, peaceful, loving, and be a true friend. Law of humility. Reduce ego and humbly accept changes, or one cannot move on to higher or spiritual level of existence. The law of responsibility. We mirror what surrounds us, and what surrounds us mirrors us. We must not play the blame game, but take the full responsibility for what exists in our life. Law of connection. Everything in the universe and the nature is interconnected. Past is the grandfather, the present is the father, and the future is the grandchild. All of them are interrelated and impart their experience to the next generation. Law of being in the present. One cannot be in the present if they think backward of the past or look forward by worrying about the future. As an old cliche goes, past is a stale check and future is a post-dated check. The only valid check is today. That is why it's rightly called a present or a gift of the divine. Law of patience and reward. He who masters patience masters everything else. All rewards require initial and persistent effort. Absolute joy comes from not fretting about the fruits of our efforts. Every devoted religious believer sees the law of karma inside the perimeters of the scriptures as he follows. Humans accumulate many unnecessary karmas when they start to see their role on earth as controllers of the world, rather than placing their faith and patience in the divine. Once known as a holy word, karma is popularly accepted as our action in this life may or will affect our future destinies for better or for worse. Noble truths realized by ancient sages. We have been given the willpower to become the architect of our destiny. The primary aim of our life is to seek perfection. We are the products of our action, which become our habits and then form our character and eventually mold our future when repeated. Children are not our possessions, nor they are our properties. Respect, value, and take care of the physical body as it is a precious gift from the divine. When people disobey the above rules, evil karmas get accumulated. They set a bad example followed by their near and dear ones, resulting in a significant mental suffering. A random example can be of a family member who is a compulsive drug addict, gambler, or a criminal. The whole family suffers with him. Karma can be compared to a secret Swiss account, which is hidden even from the account holder. Whatever data the sixth element carries over can decide where we are born. The better our karmic ledger grades, the more chances of us being born in those higher classes. Karma gives us a logical spiritual answer to complicated questions like, why are other born rich and we are born poor? Why are so many sinners not punished? Why do innocent people suffer unnecessarily? Why are criminals enjoying the fruits of evil deeds? Balance sheet of karma. Entry of the sixth element, that is the birth, is our opening balance. Right actions of our life are assets, which equals to good karmas. Our inner happiness is our profit. Influence of Satan. Bad karmas and sins of your life are your liabilities. Your stressful sorrows are your losses. Based on your karmic ledger in the next life, the exit of the sixth element is death, that is closing balance. Your character is your capital. Your heart is your fixed assets. Your knowledge is your investment. Your age is your depreciation. And finally, always remember, God is your auditor. Instant karma. Every time nature strikes back and humans suffer, we always say that these are acts of God. Humans abuse nature, so nature is reacting and abusing humans. These consequences result in havocs created by climate change in the form of natural elements like water, meaning floods, wind brings in hurricane, earth gives us earthquakes, fire gives us forest fires, and even sky gives us lightning and thunder. Another example is unnecessary bloodshed, which begets immediately violence and destruction in return. People get a feeling of sweet revenge when they come to know that their free enemies are going through a rough financial patch or physical pain and mental stress. They are quick to term it as divine justice or instant karma. However, when tables get turned against them and bad things start to happen to good people, they put forth lots of defensive arguments and blame the divine as the reason for their suffering and adversity. They seldom accept responsibility and start playing the blame game to anyone involved. They lament and complain endlessly as to why God has no sympathy nor mercy for us. Is there no justice in this universe? Why me? Is God fair? But before you try to answer this question, is God fair? I want to draw your attention to 4 essential points. First, we have free will and freedom to choose between vice and virtue, good and evil, sinner or saint. Second, life always gives us compensations and rewards for our good karmas. But whenever good things happen, we never ask God, why me? Third, God always gives us unconditional love, kindness, and forgiveness and compassion. And lastly, when we face challenges, He seems to provide us with the strength and the wisdom to overcome these circumstances. So yes, God is very fair. So be very careful of what we say or do to others. Your every thought, emotion, desire, and action creates karma. Let us compare karma to an echo or a spiritual boomerang that will bring back to you whatever you have uttered or done. Thus, karma does not go unnoticed and finds ways and means for the spiritual boomerang to return back to you. We realize that we cannot change the accounting of karma or easily reset it to zero by performing moral actions. This includes learning the scriptures, going to the TMCs daily, giving alms, and obeying morality codes. These are good acts, but they are not enough to take the soul away from the sphere of karma. Humans who trust the karmic theory believe that prevention is better than cure, being the root formula. To avoid creating bad karmas, many scriptures condemn eating meat and make a vegan diet mandatory. Abstaining from all intoxicating substance is an integral part of many religions. A strict set of rules of conduct are put in place. The above methods are the practical way humans have tried in vain to bring the karmic meter to zero. The divinity inside us gives us gentle suggestions that our sins or wrongdoings will eventually have to be repaid. They will not be forgotten nor ignored. Some people have become so tired of this karmic race that they have adopted the following drastic solutions. Convert to religions that do not believe in the karmic theory. They think that this is instant riddance of their karma. Do not take any major decision in life by becoming fatalist and accept everything as a divine decision. Distance or isolate themselves by living as hermits. Do charities, help others, and live a God-fearing life. They believe that this will be a sure way of bribing God to intervene in their fight against karma. Desperately turn to religious preachers to help negate their karmic account on their behalf. To understand karma is to think that we accumulate liabilities in our karmic ledger as long as we are takers like Satan, until we are financially and physically dependent. Similarly, when we become more stable, financially and physically independent, and become selfless givers like our God, then we start accumulating assets in the karmic ledger of life. This generosity of giving is not only restricted to our material things like money, property, political power, relations, and favors to make others happy or unhappy. It also means the six elements good experience, knowledge, and wisdom to be passed on to many people of generations as possible. Try to be generous, kind, and loving, and do the maximum good for the maximum number of people for the maximum number of years. As karma is our inner record or data, what does the sixth element carry over or forward to the next life? We have termed the sixth element as a memory cloud. So memories, obsessions, passions, urges, and compulsive habits are answered. Memories of the soul from the past are often responsible for many positive and negative weird tendencies like strange phobias, physical allergies, mental likes and dislikes, and man's brutal egoistic nature. In short, the only baggage we can carry with us can be described as a mental album or a PDF, or the strong attachments of our life and a nameless index of our friends and enemies to settle our unfinished business with them in the next birth. As culled from many lives, no one has to be trained to be a criminal. Humans easily mold themselves and become experts in all negative or diabolical actions. Profiles of several criminals and serial killers revealed that they started experimenting with cruelty first on animals since their childhood innocently. Then they upgraded themselves and became the killing machines as they matured and became more barbaric as circumstances change. The same is true for habitual thieves, drunkards, gamblers, and every known felon. We rarely encounter a good Samaritan or a philanthropist doing selfless service since their youth. Destiny and karma. As per Hinduism, the acronym Bhagwan is also known as Bhagyavan, meaning the creator of our Bhagya, which means destiny. As we find out in our life, karma plays a vital role in our present journey from womb to tomb. So a question is asked by genuine seekers: what is the difference between destiny and karma? Karma is the action and reaction, hence the basis of causes and effects in our human life. So does that make humans mere puppets? And what is worse, it makes God judgmental, biased, unfair, and unjust? Or does destiny play any role in the goals of life? We can say that karma may get us a big mansion or a luxurious car, but if it is not in our destiny to enjoy this luxury, then we will never find happiness as we occupy these mansions or drive those expensive cars. Karma's doctrine is lucid and clear. Your karmas are your responsibilities, and you cannot escape from them even after death. We reap what we have sown. Today is born in the womb of yesterday, and tomorrow will take birth in the womb of today. As they say, there are two useless days. One is yesterday, for which we keep on regretting, and the other is tomorrow, for which we keep on worrying. But the only important day is today. That's why today is known as a present, a gift from the divine. Let us do good karmas and improve our lives today and now. It means that our actions or karma of yesterday are bearing the fruits that we are harvesting today. Whatever karmas we will do today will eventually bear fruits in the future. Human nature is to constantly moan on the bitter fruits and never complain while enjoying the sweeter ones. We should realize that our actions or karmas are responsible for the bitter or sweet fruits. Bad karmas equal to bad future, and good karmas equal to good fortune. Life is like a ledger. We all have carried over accumulated assets and liabilities. A classic example of everything being connected is like our cars have small rear view mirror, meaning the past. We have a bigger windshield in front, meaning the present. Once in a while, we see the road ahead of us, that is our future. At a certain level, the laws of karma seem so lucid, straightforward, and quite scientific. Karma is so subtle and complex that we cannot comprehend it using our intellect alone. Since ancient times, the undeniable truth is that somehow we are all bound by the karmic bonds. They are responsible for our destiny. However, we are given a choice of free will to change our fates. The question we face today is how we may reduce our karmas. Some tips by Zen master Liao Fan Yuan. It says, treat everyone with respect and love. Be generous and help others in their misfortune. If you cannot make others happy, at least do not be the reason for their sadness. Support and tolerate all spiritual teachings. Be kind to the elderly, the sick, and the indigent, because someday you too will become old, sick, and needy. A practical theory to reduce karma is to become a thankful optimist rather than a complaining pessimist and accept God as the boss or the CEO of our company called life. So whatever actions we will take in this life should be dedicated to our boss. We should not have any expectations of any results, good or bad. In simple language, we should not cry over the losses of others, nor should we rejoice or be proud of our worldly gains. Then and then alone can we hope for nirvana or salvation, which means a merger of our soul with the universal divinity. Our real purpose on earth. After reading what is stated in the Quran, Bible, and the Hindu Vedas, that humans were created as superior beings to govern the earth, according to history. Humans have successfully been able to achieve this milestone of ruling over all animals. With the help of science and technology, man has been able to urbanize the earth by replacing the natural jungle with his cement jungle. The real purpose of human is to embark on two journeys. The first is to evolve from a selfish person to a civilized, compassionate, selfless human being. We should never become possessive or egoistic about our beautiful physical body, superior intelligence, and flaunt financial things. In the modern world, you can amass wealth by any or all means, as rich and powerful people are respected and honored. So in reality, until we amass the materialist things, our first part of the journey is not completed. As per Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse 43, our body is like a chariot drawn by 5 horses, namely our 5 senses, that is seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and touching. These are controlled by our mind, which in turn is controlled by our desires. As long as we desire materialist things, our mind and desire will steer our bodies to those places. A random list of businessmen who have influenced their world to achieve materialistic things is Rockefeller, the American industrialist, Bill Gates, software developer, Warren Buffett, business magnate, Abraham Jesner, petrol industry, and Jeff Bezos, Amazon. That was the first part of their journey. But later in their life, they all became philanthropists and completed their second part of the journey. The second part of the journey is from humanity to divinity. As the second part of our journey starts, We learn to give back to the world whatever we can as our legacy. In this part of our journey, the sixth element awakens and asks our mind to bring us to spiritual places where we can study scriptures, talk to preachers, reflect on the knowledge, and finally desire for the divine that will be done. As he learns to do the will of God, he is rewarded with the tranquility and peace of mind. Humans learn to imbibe divine qualities like unconditional loving, compassion, forgiving, and empathy for fellow human brethren. Here is the random list of the most influential people who changed the course of history by leaving their positive legacy for the world. Gautam Buddha from religion, Jesus Christ from religion, Guru Nanak or religion, Prophet Muhammad, religion, Socrates or philosophy, Charles Darwin, evolution, Albert Einstein, science, Thomas Edison, light bulb, Wright brothers, aviation, and Mahatma Gandhi, non-violence. According to Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, verse 28, the life of human beings can be divided into 4 stages. That is, student life, that is to acquire knowledge and stay healthy. Family life, get married, support family and the society. Middle age, become social and yearn to seek the divine. Twilight years, reduce your desires, give unconditional charity of money, time and knowledge. Serving fellow human is indeed serving God. Leave a spiritual legacy by serving the divine. Joke time! The fifth element, science teacher. Well, who can answer which are the 5 elements of nature? Student raises his hand and answer. First is air, second is earth, third is fire, fourth is sky, and the fifth is scratches his head trying to remember. Science teacher, encouraging and prompting. You know it. You use it every day to wash your hands. Student with confidence. I remember, the fifth element is soap.